Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Murnyan. I'm a Senior Global Education Advisor here in the Office of Global Education, and I advise for all semester programs in Italy except the Villa as part of my advising portfolio. So this presentation, we're going to go all over the basics of what it is to study abroad in Italy, what programs are available, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any that you have. You can use the Q&A function. I'll be answering them at the end of the program. All right. So, why Italy? Well, there's a lot of reasons to pick studying abroad in Italy. One, they have some of the most renowned universities in the world, and some of them are the oldest universities in the world. So it really is the chance to study in these universities, which have such a rich history and culture, both in academics and globally. You're surrounded by art, architecture, and fashion. Some of the most famous and world-renowned museums can be found on the Italian peninsula. You've got all these different types of architecture ranging from the medieval to the modern. And of course, it is one of the leaders of fashion. Milan, of course, is one of the leaders of the fashion industry, including their annual Fashion Week in Milan. It is the country with the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites at 51. So there's always something to see whether you're interested in various different parts of history or culture. And it really is the mix of the old and the new. So the ancient city of Rome, where you are, walking around a very modern city and you look to your left and there's the Colosseum, which was finished in 80, to the modern day inventions and science coming out of the modern cities of Milan and Naples. So you really do have a little bit of everything. So there are multiple different program types in Italy. The most common one is a direct matriculation. What this means is that you are directly matriculating in an Italian university. So you are living the life of a local student. You are taking your classes all in Italian, and they are taught by Italian professors, and you are sitting next to Italian students. So you really get the best experience and the greatest breadth of course offerings at a direct matriculation program. An Area Studies program is a program that is specifically designed for American university students, and they follow a specific theme. Core classes are typically taught in English, and your other classes can be taught in either English or Italian, depending on the program. In Italy, the two Area Studies program focuses on, one is music, and the other is classics. A language program is just that, where you are spending your semester really focusing on your language acquisition. So you are taking classes amongst other American students, and these are mostly credits for your language study, so mostly language credits. Lastly, you have the global living and learning programs. The most popular is, of course, the semester program at Villa La Balze, but this also includes summer programs at the Villa as well as in Rome. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is with a direct matriculation, area studies, or language programs, these are all programs that, while they count towards your credit total, they don't count towards your GPA. A global living and learning program is with a Georgetown faculty member, and these are considered Georgetown classes, whether you're at the semester of the Villa or a Georgetown University-sponsored summer program. So these are treated like Georgetown classes, so they do count towards your GPA. So there are three main direct matriculation programs in Italy. The first one, and probably the most popular, is the Brown and Bologna program, where you are directly matriculating into the University of Bologna, which is the oldest university in the world, it was founded in 1088. So this is a program where you are living with American students in apartments, but you do have an Italian roommate as well. And you take a class facilitated through Brown University and the rest of your classes at the University of Bologna. Your next one is the Middlebury School in Florence, and that is a facilitated direct enroll at the University of Florence. So again, this is a program that does have homestay options as well as living with locals. And it is a program that is really working towards students who are in the humanities and the social sciences fields. The other is in Milan. So you have two different tracks. So you have one, which is Italy Today, which is a facilitated direct enroll at Cattolica. And again, this is for students in the humanities and the social sciences. Now, just like with Florence, you can take a breadth of different classes from the different fields they teach. So politics, art history, anthropology, philosophy. For students who are interested in business, you do have the business studies program. And students in that program take their classes either at Bocconi, which is a very well-renowned business school, or at Cattolica. And they can mix it up a bit because we know that there are some restrictions with MSB and how many classes you can take that count towards your business degree. So depending on what you're interested in, all of these programs are very similar and they're different. Brown and Bologna, for example, is small by design. And it is a program that is actually also very good for STEM students. So if you are a STEM student and you have the Italian level, this is a good program for you. So it really all depends on where you want to be, what classes you're interested in, and what classes are available at each program. So the 2 area studies program. One is a program in Milan on music, tradition, and innovation. This really is a program for students who are performance majors. So students who are studying music or American musical culture. You are taking performance-related classes, and your core class is being taught in English, though there is a requirement for Italian language, as all of your non-music classes will be taught in Italian. So if you're looking to take classes on music performance, composition, and you do have an Italian language background, this is a really fantastic program. As the faculty director in residence through the program is actually a very well-regarded composer. So this is a program, if you're interested in music, this is one where you're going to learn a lot. The other is the Intercollegiate Center for Classical Studies in Rome. There is no Italian language requirement for this program. There is, however, a large recommendation that you have intermediate Greek and/or Latin. So this is a program specifically for American college students, where you are really focusing on the classics. You are living with other students on the program as well as sharing your meals with other students on the program. So you take classics classes as well as either Latin or Greek, depending on which language that you're focusing on. So the language program is again in Milan. This is actually a program where you're basically taking the equivalent of Advanced 2. So this is a program focused on your language acquisition. So in order to participate in the program, you have to have be through Advanced 1, but have not taken Advanced 2. So this is a program we're taking at the IES Center in Milan and really focusing on improving your language and getting ready and to the point where you could directly enroll into an Italian university. So the Global Living and Learning programs, like I said, the big one is Georgetown and Fiesole Villa Le Balze. And this is a program where every semester there is a Georgetown faculty member in residence, and that faculty member changes from semester to semester. And this faculty member teaches a class depending on their own expertise. It could be history, it could be philosophy, it could be theology. It all depends and it varies. Other classes are taught by Italian faculty members. In classes, usually there's a history, there's a political science, but all the classes that are being offered are listed on our webpage. It is a global living and learning program because you're not just learning with other Georgetown students on the program in the classroom, you are also learning from each other outside the classroom, either by eating together, going on field trips together. So it really becomes a community-like atmosphere. And it's not just with the other students, but as well as your faculty director. There is no Italian language prerequisite for this program, but students who participate in the program are required to take an Italian class at whatever level they're at, up through Italian 233 writing and culture. And like I said, you also have summer programs as part of this global and living programs. That includes all summer programs that are taught at the Villa and the summer programs at the Villa. Those programs range in theme from year to year. And you also have a summer program in Rome called the Ancient City. So, general requirements for studying in Italy. Good academic and disciplinary standing. What does that mean? Meaning you have to meet the minimum requirements for the program for your GPA. In most cases, that's a 3.0, but some requires and disciplinary standing. That means you have to be in good disciplinary standing with the university. So not just, academic good standing, but disciplinary standing. So you don't have any open cases with the conduct office or any outstanding sanctions or anything like that. Academic prerequisites. Academic prerequisites vary from program to program. So it's something you want to check on the program brochures to see what the requirements are. For any direct enrollment program, the requirement is you have to be past Advanced 2. And that's the level that the Italian department has said that is the level that is best for you to really facilitate and directly enrolling at an Italian university. I know sometimes students are nervous about taking all their classes in Italian, but it really is a fantastic opportunity to really improve your language skills. People find it daunting, but people do it all the time. So it's something that if you are at that level, I would encourage you to look into. Other programs, language programs, for example, intensive language, like I said, you have to be through Advanced 1. For ICCS in Rome, you have to be a classics major. And they are looking for at least intermediate Greek and or Latin. So you do have requirements that vary based on the program. So make sure that when you're looking at a program, you understand what the requirements are for this program. And if you're planning in advance, which is something I would highly encourage you to do, you want to make sure that you know what your academic game plan is to get you to the point where you can participate in the program that you wish to. So finances. I know this is one thing that students are always a little concerned about. So semester and full year study abroad costs are comparable to those at Georgetown's main campus. So you're going to be paying Georgetown tuition as if you were still here, no matter what program you're on. The cost of living varies from site to site just because the cost of living varies from city to city and place to place. All financial aid is transferable. So whatever your financial aid package is will travel with you. But we do encourage you to start the conversation with your financial aid counselor to see, what you need to do, if there are any steps you need to take, and to make them aware so that they know what's going on. Program budgets are available. We are very transparent about the cost of programs. On every program brochure, you can see what the estimated costs are. So you have your set costs, which are your tuition. Some cases your housing, sometimes that's not, that's estimated. But you do want something you want to pay attention to, so you can talk to your parents or your guardians about setting a budget for yourself. There are scholarships available. Some of the ones, especially for semester programs, include the Benjamin Gilman Scholarship. So that's for students who do receive a Pell Grant. And there are also a lot of other scholarships out there that students can apply to, and you can always talk to either myself or other staff members in the Office of Global Education who can work with you to find a scholarship or program that works best for your situation. So that's the basic overview, but here's where you can find more information. So you can check out our website and my OGE Abroad program brochures. This is the most up-to-date information, and we update these regularly with costs, academic offerings, and we link to as much as humanly possible, so you can check out the website so you can see what courses are being offered, what's available. Attend a Study Abroad 101 session or check out the video. Meet with a regional global education advisor. So if you're looking for any of the direct enroll or area studies programs or the language program, you want to make an appointment with me, and you can do that through our website. If you're interested in the Villa, you want to make an appointment with my colleague, Sam. Sam is the one who advises for the Villa. Talk to your academic deans and faculty, especially if you're in a major that is very sequential. It never hurts to start planning early and have an academic game plan with your dean so that you can set yourself up to study abroad at whatever program you want. And that might mean things like saving your liberal arts requirements, and if you're in the MSB, or saving up your general education requirements, or making sure you're on track with your chemistry degree, to make sure that you are at the point where you can take a chemistry class abroad. Read the OGE student blog, Stories Behind the Hilltop. These are from students who are, well, at the time they were written, they were studying abroad, but it really is getting their insights on what it is like to study abroad in their particular site. You can also check out our YouTube channel, which has Takeover Tuesdays, and these are students who have taken over our Snapchat account and created videos to see what it is like in the day of a life. So you can see what it is really like on the ground and what classes are like. And of course, follow us on social media at OGE Abroad, as we update those posts regularly as well. So any questions?
Hi, I'm Susan. I'm moderating the Q&A. Sarah, it looks like we have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Looks like a question about language. I know you talked about the prerequisites. For a first-year student, can they get up to that language level if they are only starting Italian now?
Yes. So if you take intensive basic Italian, so Italian is, at least last time I checked, only taught at the intensive level. So if you take Italian every semester, then by the time you hit your junior year, is typically when students study abroad, then yes, you can hit advanced 2 by the time of your junior year. So it is possible if you have no Italian coming in as a freshman to study abroad in an Italian speaking in Italy in a direct enroll program as a junior.
Great, thank you. Another question, is it possible to study science in Italy?
Yes. So the program that is most beneficial for science students is Brown and Bologna, and that is the program, I believe, the only one that can, at least of the direct enrollment programs, that can work with science students. And we have had science students in the past. We've had physics students, we've had chemistry students, we've had neuroscience students. So it's something you want to plan with your dean and your department about, depending on what science you're in, because some are more sequential than others and some are more flexible. So you do want to make sure that you start the process and start the conversation so that you can, do a little bit of everything.
Thank you. We have another question. Are there any opportunities to study Italian film and culture in Italy?
So Italian film and culture, through the direct enroll program in Milan, I do know that there are some film classes and culture classes based there. So what you want to do is definitely look at the direct enrollment classes to see what type of classes are available and what type of classes really pique your interest. So there are classes available, yes. Is there an area studies program specifically on film and culture? No.
Okay, wonderful. There's a question about housing. What are the homestays like? Are there homestays available? And what do students say about them?
So homestays are available through the programs in Milan and in Florence. So they are not available in Bologna because Bologna's are strictly apartments. Homestays are a great opportunity to, improve your language acquisition because a lot of these families do not speak English. And I forgot to mention, homestays are also available as part of the Villa program. So that's the other option. So students really get to know their families, and the partners we work with on the ground in Italy are great about matching students with a family. So you're eating with the family, you're living in the home, and it really is, a great cultural experience. I've never had a student stay in a homestay and say they regretted it. So if you're really looking to really improve your language acquisition and be forced to speak it, because it is human nature once you get out of class, at least for me it was, that you swap back in English. And this is another opportunity where you are forced to speak Italian. So I've never had a student complain about it. I've never had a student regret choosing the homestay option. I'll be honest, when I studied abroad in college, I lived in a homestay and I was super lucky because my host father was an amazing cook. So, you're gonna have these very different experiences than you would if you were living in like a student apartment or such. So yeah, there are homestays options available.
We have a question about joining clubs or organizations or ways to meet local students.
So it's easier on the direct enroll programs just because you're going to be sitting aside, beside local students in class. But local engagement is also something that you need to think of and, find opportunities if it's not being presented to you. All of our programs do have staff on the ground who are, great about helping you get to know the locals and, get involved with clubs and societies at the university. Now, Italian universities, they don't have the club and society atmosphere that you would find at, at Georgetown or even at a British or Irish institution. A lot of these students are living at home, and, they're not necessarily going straight through 4 years like we would here at Georgetown. So it's a very different academic environment and social environment. So is it absolutely possible to meet Italians? Yes, but it's not necessarily going to be, I want to join this club like I would at Georgetown.
Great. That is all the questions in the Q&A. I don't know if there are any other feedback from students you want to share or any other closing thoughts. And I'll let you know if anyone else posed the question.
Just for closing thoughts, Italy is a fantastic country, full of history and culture, and in cities like Bologna, where there aren't a lot of tourists, it is so easy just to get steeped in the everyday life of a normal, regular local. And so these are really great opportunities for students to improve their language skills, study in a very different academic environment where the value is more placed on independence than it is, the structure that you might find at Georgetown. And I think it's a really great opportunity to kind of grow and learn, not just academically, but also about yourself. And like I said, when I studied abroad, I took economics, art history, and political science for me, it was French, but it's a really rewarding opportunity, and you're going to pick up so much vocabulary that on the ground and through your classes that you wouldn't necessarily through a language class at Georgetown. So it really is an opportunity just to expand your horizons in so many different ways and get to know the locals as well and kind of get out of the American bubble.